Let's go on the record. I see that we have our trusty court reporter in attendance. We'll start this hearing. First, I would ask that everyone please mute themselves unless they are speaking. That will cut down on any background noise and prevent any audio feedback. Today is August 29th, 2024. The Missouri Public Service Commission has set this time for a local public hearing to give members of the public a chance to comment about Liberty's general rate increase application, and that is file number GR 2024-0106. The Commission regulates the rates charged by public utility companies in Missouri to ensure that those rates are just and reasonable. The Commission also regulates the quality of service and safety of the operations of public utilities. There are 5 commissioners. They are appointed by the governor and confirmed by the Senate. The Commission itself also employs a staff of engineers, accountants, attorneys, financial analysts, and other specialists in the field of utility regulation. My name is Charles Hatcher, and I'm the regulatory law judge that will preside over this hearing. Online with me today are Chair Kayla Hahn, Commissioner Maida Coleman, Commissioner Glenn Kolkmeyer, and Commissioner John Mitchell. The commissioners have not made any decisions in this case, and therefore they cannot answer any questions today, as they have to remain impartial until after all of the evidence is presented. Are there any opening remarks from the commissioners before we begin? Okay, we'll move on to our entries of appearance by the parties. For Liberty, please go ahead. If that's Ms. Grubbs, you're hard to hear again. And a reminder, if you've called in, it is *6 to unmute yourself.
Good evening. This is Jermaine Grubbs on behalf of Liberty Utilities, Midstates Natural Gas Corporation, doing business as Liberty. I'm a director of legal services for Liberty's Central Region. My business address is 602 South Joplin Avenue in Joplin, Missouri, 64801. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And for the commission staff.
Good evening. I'm Nathan Vandergriff, representing Staff Council. Our business address is the Governor's Office Building, Suite 800, 200 Madison Street, P.O. Box 360, Jefferson City.
Thank you, sir. And Ms. Martin for the Office of the Public Counsel. Go ahead.
My name is Anna Martin. I am the attorney for the Office of the Public Counsel. We are in a separate suite from the PSC staff because we are a separate entity. However, we are also at 200 Madison Street in the Governor's Office Building.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And, the process for our hearing tonight will be calling the list that have signed up to testify. We have one name tonight. After I call our one witness who is pre-registered, I'll open up the floor for anyone else that would like to testify. The process will be I'll call that person's name and ask them to state and spell their name for our court reporter, and then I'll swear them in and ask for their comments. That person is Robert Matz. Mr. Matz, if you would speak up, and that'll bring your icon to the front of our WebEx.
I'm happy to speak up. My name is Robert Matz, R-O-B-E-R-T-M-A-T-Z.
Thank you, sir. And if you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony I'm about to give will be the truth.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead and give us your comments.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to address the commissioners, the judge, the OPC, the PSC, and all that are gathered here about the proposed rate increase by Liberty Utilities. I serve as president of Hannibal LaGrange University in Hannibal, Missouri. We were first informed of the rate increase by Liberty Utilities on February 9th via an email that was sent directly to myself. After dialoguing with folks from Liberty Utilities, I was informed there would be a public hearing and that I would be informed of that date via the same correspondence as is taking place. I did not receive that correspondence and unfortunately, as a result, was not able to attend the in-person hearing here in town. But as was shared a minute ago, that the purpose of these hearings is to determine if this rate increase is just and reasonable. And while I can fully understand the position of Liberty Utilities and a desire to raise rates, I would propose to the Commission that this rate increase at the level that is proposed is not just and reasonable. And I would propose this to the Commission for 3 reasons. First, a Wall Street Journal article 7 days after the rate increase was first announced reads as follows. Natural gas hasn't been this cheap in decades. Adjusted for inflation, natural gas futures recently hit their cheapest price since trading began on the New York Mercantile Exchange in 1990. This is good news for American consumers who can look forward to lower utility bills. Again, this is an article from the Wall Street Journal that was published on February the 16th of this year, 7 days after the rate increase was announced. In addition to that, when one goes and checks the New York Mercantile Exchange, while there has been a slight increase, the rate today, I still believe, is below $2 per million British thermal units or BTUs. This is a significant rate increase to be proposed when rates were actually higher last time rate increases took place. So the first reason I would propose to you that these are not just and reasonable rate increases at the level that is proposed is that natural gas, according to the Wall Street Journal, is at its lowest level pretty much ever. Second reason I would propose that this rate increase is not just or reasonable is it neglects the gains in efficiency that Liberty notes in its own press release about the rate increase. Specifically, they note that they've moved to a system of automated meter readings, that they've updated their aging infrastructure, and that many of these costs that have been there, improving their customer experience, many of these things should result in decreased personnel costs for them, as well as a stronger infrastructure. Their current rate was sufficient to allow them to do this. And so for that reason as well, it would seem that a rate increase on the level of 20%, as was reported in the Courier Post here in Hannibal yesterday, here as is being proposed, seems quite extreme given those circumstances. Third, I will highlight the particular impact that this rate increase will have in the Northeast region of the state, most particularly Hannibal. At this time, here in the Hannibal area, our school board has recently voted to raise or to increase the property tax assessment on all of us here in this region by nearly 0.5%. In addition to that, the Hannibal Board of Public Works has recently announced rate increases of both electric at a very high level, as well as even water at about a 3% level. While I see the desire from Liberty Utilities noting their desire to help low-income customers, and that is to be commended for small businesses, nonprofits, such as Hannibal LaGrange, this is an unusually burdensome increase, especially when combined with other factors. For these 3 reasons, that the rate increase is not based on market forces, that it neglects the gains in efficiency that Liberty themselves are self-reporting, and because of the particularly hard impact this will have on small businesses and nonprofits that are vital to the health of this community, I would propose that this is not a just and reasonable rate increase. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matz. Are there any questions from the commissioners for Mr. Matz? All right. Thank you again, Mr. Matz, for testifying. Is there anyone else who would like to offer their comments to the commissioners tonight? Okay, that sometimes happens. It can be a little intimidating to, even on WebEx, to offer up comments to the Public Service Commission or to any public body. So what I'll do is I'll ask one more time, but before I do that, I'll go ahead and give the instructions on how to leave written comments. If you know somebody who couldn't be here tonight, or if you would just prefer to offer your comments in writing, you can go to the PSC's webpage. That is psc.mo.gov. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Submit Comments. And you can submit your comments. Just make sure to include the case number. And once again, that is GR 2024-0106. And I'll ask again if there's anyone in attendance tonight who would also like to, like Mr. Matz, come forward and offer their comments to the commissioners. Okay, hearing none. Are there any closing comments from the commissioners? We'll be ending our hearing here in just a few minutes. Any closing comments from commissioners?
Judge Hatcher, Chair Hahn, I just want to thank Mr. Matz for his testimony this evening. It was very well prepared, and just appreciate him taking the time away from his regular duties to participate in this local public hearing. So thank you, Mr. Matz. Without your information, we wouldn't otherwise have it. And just appreciate the parties and our staff, Judge Hatcher, for helping this local public hearing happen on a weeknight. So thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chair. Any other closing comments from commissioners?
Judge Hatcher,
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner Coleman.
I'd like to thank our chairwoman for her comments to Mr. Matz. That's exactly what I wanted to say. I wanted to thank him for going the extra mile to be on tonight. Unfortunately, we did not have the opportunity to see him in person yesterday in the beautiful hamlet of Hannibal, but I do appreciate your participation tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. And any other closing comments? Well, I'd like to thank all of our attendees tonight and Mr. Matz. I know it can be a challenge sometimes to take a little time out of your evenings. If anyone does have a question for the Office of the Public Counsel, as they do represent the public, they can email those to mopco@opc.mo.gov. That was a little tongue twister. Let me give that one more time. mopco@opc.mo.gov. And again, if you'd like to leave written comments, you can go to the PSC's webpage, psc.mo.gov. I'd like to thank everyone for their attendance, and we are adjourned and off the record. Thank you all.